News report of the New World, though the Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News report. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Make sure you check out blackfoxnews.com/shop. The link is in the Instagram bio. You can actually go there and get some paraphernalia. You know what I'm saying? Support the movement as we continue to support y'all. You know what I'm saying? And we're going to keep y'all on with this real. Yesterday, Tuesday night, you actually had 5 people getting arrested over in Elizabeth City, North Carolina, after a lot of protesters were out there past the 8 p.m. curfew that was instilled because people are in a fucking frenzy over the murder of Anthony Brown Jr. Now, this is a 42-year-old black man that was actually murdered, and it turns out it's looking like he was murdered in cold blood, but by police officers. But the FBI has actually decided to open up a civil rights investigation into the matter because the killing that happened last week was already suspect, and people thought it was, unjust. He wasn't armed and all of that, but now the family has finally gotten to see the footage, and they see that they only got to see 20 seconds of the body cam footage, but it shows that Anthony Brown had his hands on the steering wheel when he got shot 5 times, including 1 time in the back of the head. So they was, I don't know, either scared of this man or they was trying to just take his life, maybe even take his organs or something like that. I don't know, but it's fucked up because you have another surveillance footage that shows that the officers were all in the car moments before he ended up dead, and that and also the lawyer for the family actually saying that only 4 seconds went by between when the police officers arrived and when they actually killed him, according to the lawyer. So this civil rights investigation will get to the bottom of it. When them civil rights investigations come through, the consequences of that are dire, but a lot of times people will also get off the hook too. We will see what happens. It's a fucked up situation. Did this man really have to lose his life? You know what I'm saying? Like, police officers, did Elizabeth City police officers, did he have to lose his fucking life? And if not, then y'all need to handle y'all business with them police officers and with the police department. Greenwood on graduation. News report of the New World, though the Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News report. So you have over in California new body cam footage from police actually being released from the Alameda police that basically showed them murdering this 26-year-old Latino man, Mario Arenales Gonzalez. Now, this man is actually from Oakland, and while he was apprehended, basically he was walking in a park, and police got complaints of there being a drunk man in the park, and it resulted in him being dead. Now, on April 19th, he went to the hospital, and they said that he arrived on the morning at the hospital on April 19th after a medical emergency that resulted from a scuffle that they had while they tried to restrain him. Well, the body cam footage shows that these officers basically came to this man drunk in the park or whatever, and he talks to them calmly, but then they end up arresting him. So he starts yelling when they arrested him, and then they pin him down on the ground. One dude has his knee on his back, the other one has his knee on his shoulder, and they do that for a few minutes until he dies. So, and that's another part of what the officers said. They alleged that he had died at the hospital, but it turns out that he actually died on the spot, with the officers saying that he has no pulse. So they straight up lied about what's going on, it seems like. So now the family of Gonzalez is actually calling for an investigation into his murder. You know what I mean? Fucked up situation. What explanation do you have for it? You know what I'm saying? Like, did you have to kill him? If he's already cuffed, why are y'all detaining him? Why y'all got y'all knees on his back and his shoulder and all of that? And people comparing this to George Floyd, but it's like, dang, man, another black and brown body, black and or brown body, deceased at the hands of police for a nigga that ain't posed no threat. Greenwood on graduation. News report of the New World, though the Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News report. So shit going crazy over there in India with this COVID-19 wave, as hospitals and crematoriums and all of that are getting overwhelmed. As I told y'all recently, doctors are turning away. But check this out. Their death toll has officially topped 200,000 due to COVID-19, and 360,000 new infections were recorded over the past day. So you got a lot of international support that's kicking in, you know what I'm saying, as far as like, done with medical equipment and even trying to get vaccines to them. People are pressuring the United States to give them their excess AstraZeneca vaccines and all of that, which is, we have by the tens of millions. But it still is a dire situation. You had one ambulance driver interviewed out there. He's saying they making makeshift cremation sites because there's not enough room in the crematorium. So it's real rugged over there. You got some groups say that 100 journalists. Reporter of the New World Order, Bishop Grady, letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News report. So over in Chad, Africa, there were 5 protesters that were actually murdered yesterday after military crackdowns on protesters. People are protesting, calling for the government to actually transition into civilian rule after the death of their longtime president, Idris Deby, who actually died on the battlefield. I told y'all about that the other week, where he basically was visiting, the soldiers on the front line. This is a straight up warrior because he even came into power decades ago warring, you know what I'm saying, and became president of Chad, whatever. Well, he died how he came in that motherfucker, and now the country's in all this political turmoil. The military has decided to military commanders who actually took power after Dubois' death actually have called for runner-ups to recent presidential elections to actually be the transitional prime minister of the country. So we will see how this turns out. A lot of people aren't liking it. The military is actually looking and rejected calls of any peace talks or discussions with the rebel fighters that are accused of killing the president, Dubai. And this comes as like the rebel fight. Reporter of the New World Order, Bishop Grady, letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News report. So the whole country of Turkey has officially been shut down, a whole nationwide lockdown after they actually saw a new daily infection rate of 37,000. That's 37,000 people infected with COVID-19 in one day. Shut down the whole country. They trying to mitigate what they're seeing is a surge in COVID cases, coronavirus, SARS-CoV-2, that Rona. You know what I'm saying? Definitely check out BFN World Broadcast number 17. Now, keep in mind that you might be over it, you know what I'm saying? You might feel like, I don't gotta wear no mask no more, this Rona ain't about shit, whatever. But countries are still reacting to this shit. There's surges, their country's still shutting down, locking down from this. I mean, people are still, apparently dying, and it's still spreading like wildfire. So, you might still wanna be wary of what's going on, because you might want to travel to somewhere that might be shut the fuck down because of COVID, even though you ain't even wearing your mask when you go to the bar. You know what I'm saying? Now, over in Brazil, they actually officially rejected the Sputnik 5 vaccine. That is the vaccine for COVID-19 that was made by Russia, citing concerns over the lack of quality control and over the efficacy data. But the maker of the Sputnik 5 says that's bullshit, because they really think it more so has to do with these reports that came out earlier this year that said that the United States was urging Brazil not to take Russia's Sputnik 5 vaccine. So they think it was politically motivated. So far, the emergency use authorization by the World Health Organization has not been given to the Sputnik 5 yet. So we'll see how that shit turns out with that vaccine. Green War on graduation. Reporter of the New World Order, Bishop Grady, letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News report. So the CDC actually issued new guidelines today, and it basically says that if you've been fully vaccinated, you can actually be outdoors without a mask, except for at concerts or really large gatherings, stadiums, and all of that. Whatever. Now, I was a little confused because I thought that was already the rule, minus the vaccines. If you know what I mean? If you're outside, you don't need to be masked up unless you're in a crowded area. So President Joe Biden actually says that, beginning today, you will, if you're going out for a picnic, or, it's just a small gathering, you're with some friends or whatever, you don't have to wear a mask if you've been fully vaccinated. So, I don't know, it seems kind of invasive. It's yo, I thought, I don't have to. I thought it was my human right, no? Don't I got human rights? Green War on graduation. Reporter of the New World Order, Bishop Grady, letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News report. So in Seattle, Washington, the Seattle City Council, they actually voted on a resolution that is going to urge Biden to consider a waiver on patents as it deals with COVID-19 vaccines. You had Councilmember Kashara Sawan basically speaking, saying that the resolution is a rejection of the status quo of vaccine apartheid and vaccine nationalism, and is meant to promote vaccine internationalism, and for a people's vaccine is supposed to fight for that. So clearly a lot of times the patents and these emergency use authorizations. Keep in mind, like Moderna has emergency use authorization, but they actually also had Operation Warp Speed, that vaccine program that Trump created before he left, help fund and create the Moderna trials and all of that. Whatever. If you're making a vaccine in the back of your basement that actually might save the world or whatever, you're not getting that help from Operation Warp Speed or the government or whatever. So I think they're trying to limit that. They're also trying to keep it to where it's not just the rich countries that are just getting these vaccines. So we'll see if this revolution even gets Biden to make a move, because they're not the only ones calling for it. The whole COVAX program by the United Nations kind of takes aim at that. We'll see how this turns out, though. Green Wall and graduation. Report of the New World Order Bishop Grady let y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black House News Report. So you got Biden proposing another $1.8 trillion plan. This is the American Families Plan that's going to basically assist Americans with healthcare, education, and childcare. However, and paid family leave as well. Now, he plans on funding this through proposed profits he expects to get from the changes that he's proposing to make to capital gains tax. Those who don't know, a lot of y'all don't know because a lot of y'all ain't got no fucking capital, but if you do have capital, you know what I'm saying, something's passed on or you sell it or whatever, there's a capital gains tax that comes with that, whatever. And, he plans on the government getting more money from these changes in their tax, as well as cracking down on tax evasion by wealthy Americans. He thinks that the IRS over the next 10 years needs $80 billion in order to fund this effort, but it's predicted that it should bring about like $700 billion more dollars. If this were to go through, and this is over the next 10 years, those numbers, if this were to go through, if you make more than $400K, you could expect you're more likely to be audited if this proposal happens. So, a lot of times, a lot of y'all rich motherfuckers think y'all can just get all the bread, and then it's like, oh, all right, it's all these tax loopholes, whatever we can get to where we can pay no taxes like Donald Trump. Like, nah, that's not how this shit was set up, though. We'll see what happens, though. Green Wall and graduation.